feel like I've been on this journey my whole life because it started with my name, Talitha Cumi, which literally means little girl, wake up. And I can't say it's been easy. There's been a lot of bumps and bruises along the way, but I believe life is all in your decision making. The I Am Talitha Cumi show is a combination of things that I love to talk about. And I want to enlighten you, encourage you, and inspire you to be the best you can be with some help from me and my guests. Let's talk about it. We are talking about the elderly community, you guys. Why are they getting the short end of the stick? Month, I chose nature or nurture as our theme. And we are live here at the Botham Jean Foundation, sustaining the human race. That's my personal opinion. Hey y'all, hey, it is your girl Talitha Cumi, and I want to welcome you to my new show, the I Am Talitha Cumi show on Vegas Hype Media. Thanks for tuning in on this Good Friday, and remember, you can catch us here every Friday night at 7:30 p.m. on our Food for the Soul Media Group FB page and YouTube station. Also on Vegas Hype Media's FB page and YouTube station and the Mixler app for some of you guys who just might want to listen to us live. Shout out to Quan on the ones and twos, keeping us looking and sounding right. And also, I got to shout out my baby, Big Bobby B, who left me by myself this go around. So no co-host this time. It's just me, but it's all good. He'll still be around, you guys. So on this new show, we got a little bit of everything. I'm talking about news and tips you can use. We're doing food and restaurant reviews. We're doing movie reviews, and I'm going to have some special guests either in the building or in the atmosphere on every show, helping us talk this thing out. So first, I need to give my disclaimer. These are my opinions. They are not fact, just my opinions. And some of the opinions of our guests are not always the opinions of the I Am Talitha Cumi show, Food for the Soul Media Group, or Vegas Hype Media. And if you want to weigh in, leave us a comment in the chat room, on our live show, on YouTube, or a comment on our FB page, you guys. So I just wanted to briefly kind of talk about what I've been going through. I took a year off. We took a year off. There was a whole lot of stuff going on. My father passed away in 2021, and I think that was like right at the end of us doing our show here in 2021. So 2022, I just kind of had to regroup, take some time off, kind of figure out what I wanted to do. And so I am back. I really, really have a passion for radio. And so that's why I came back. But you guys, I have been working out. I started this year, and we're only a month in the year. So I started this year out really on a good track. I've been working out every day, Monday through Friday, for about 15-30 minutes, sometimes around a little bit more. Just depends on what I can get in before I get ready to go to work. And I have been drinking water. So this big old gigantic jug that I have, I've been drinking a gallon of water every single day, and it shows. I've actually lost about 15 pounds, so I am so excited about that. My job is going well. I got a raise, working on a little bit of a promotion, so things there are going well. Also, I'm getting out in the community more, you guys, so I'm really trying to find out kind of what Vegas is like post-pandemic. And things are going good. Me and Bobby have some projects coming up, some business ventures, and you guys will hear about that in the midst of the show as it goes along. But I'm actually doing really, really good. So in the midst of everything that's going on, I am super duper joyous. So I just wanted to let you guys know that before we get started. So our theme for this month is I Need You, You Need Me. So joining me later will be my special guest, Gina from Dreamsicklekids, and we're talking for the health of it. But my first segment of the day, you guys, so I'm going to do a lot of reading and Bear with me, you guys, because I really want to get facts right when I'm talking about different things, different news stories. I don't ever want to mislead you or get wrong facts. So I really do a whole lot of fact checking when I'm talking about my news stories. But my first segment is I should have known that, right? And so the term slugging went viral on social media last year. And slugging means slathering your face with petroleum jelly as the last step of your evening skin care routine. So they say petroleum jelly, which is also known as petrolatum, and was first sold by Vaseline, forms a seal over the stratum corneum, outer layer of skin or skin barrier to protect the skin from the environment while preventing water loss, right? So by forming this seal, which keeps dirt and bacteria out and moisture in, the petroleum jelly creates the ideal environment to allow your skin to repair itself. And it says that it's said to be good for dry skin, wound care, surgical aftercare, and especially eczema patients who have a compromised skin barrier and tend to be on the dry side, right? So for those of you who did not know, like maybe some of our non-pigmented friends, our grandmas in the 50s and 60s and 70s and the 80s were absolutely right in lathering us up with this slick moisturizer after baths, before bed, and before we went out in public. And we just thought that it was, just to kind of keep us from looking ashy, but find out that it's so much more. So thanks, TikTok, for bringing that back out. And now we know. Thank you, Big Mama, Grandma, Madea, and my tea lady for Vaselining us up, looking slick and oily. And like we just jumped out of a pot of grease. But yeah, so anyway. So here's something, though, that you may not have known, right? Did you know that there are natural ways to stop aging when it comes to your body and your skin? When it comes to anti-aging, there is no question that there are habits that will drastically speed up the aging process. These include smoking, drinking too much alcohol, and eating foods that are high in sodium, sugar, and trans fat. So you know that we have all seen that person who drinks too much or smokes a little bit too much, and we thought surely they were much older than us, and out of respect we called them ma'am or sir, or like in the South we called them Miss So-and-so or whatever, and found out that they could be your little brother or your sister because they were way younger than they looked. But anyway, they say by eating foods that are high enough in phytonutrients like flavonoids, this is really hard to say, and carotenoids, which are antioxidants found in a number of fruits and vegetables, can help with anti-aging and keep you feeling energetic and healthy. So here are some of the fruits and vegetables and other foods that will help your body resist the effects of aging. Blueberries, cranberries, apples, avocados, melons, including those yummy cucumbers, winter squash, which is technically a fruit, citrus fruits, and the ones that are healthier are the ones that contain seeds, tomatoes, olives, pomegranates. Dark chocolate is actually good for you. It's technically the seed of a fruit, and yes, it is very, very good for you. Carrots, sweet potatoes, kale, spinach, cabbage, lettuces, Brussels sprout, broccoli, beets, raw nuts, beans cooked from scratch and not the can, green tea, wheatgrass juice, whole grains, and seeds, particularly the flax, hemp, and chia seeds, you guys. So, and if you guys know of anything else, or you guys have a product you want to share with us, drop us a line in our comments. I'm sure that we all of us that are getting up there need something like that to help us to feel kind of better about our skin and our aging process. So that's that. My feel-good story of the week, you guys. I want to do something like this every week just because I feel like there's so much negativity in the news. There's so much negativity on social media. So I just want to try and present some positive stories that we might not hear about often, or they're not sharing because it's a positive story. So here we go. So a local group is working to make Detroit safer, one liquor store at a time. Gas stations and party stores that stay open after dark can sometimes be dangerous, but New Era Detroit is hoping to change that. New Era Community Connection, known as NECC, is a family movement of New Era Nation. NECC is designed exclusively to connect and develop urban communities worldwide through our original Mud Roots concept, direct outreach, and hands-on community programming to assist in creating an environment of self-sufficiency throughout often forgotten communities, you guys. So earlier this year, they were out helping keep customers safe at a number of party stores. The move is in response to the carjacking murder of one of the residents, Tracy Golden, at a party store on Grand River near Outer Drive. And they said after the incident, they just felt like they wanted to step in and make sure that the people in the community were secure no matter what. And they're also starting a safe zone initiative to get local businesses involved in becoming safe havens for people in danger. So they're looking for businesses out there that will put up their logo, and let people know that they are a safe space to come to in case they're running from someone or they're doing something or you know, they're nervous about somebody following them or something like that. They can go into these stores and they know that those stores are a safe place for them. And so they're looking for business owners, gas stations, schools, different things like that to get involved. And also they wanted to make a disclaimer saying that they know that some of the people are going to feel some type of way about them because they see all these black guys with guns. But at the end of the day, they're saying that we need to protect our communities at all costs. So whatever we need to do to protect our communities, that's what we're doing. They said that you might call them a gang, but at the end of the day, they're doing what they need to do. They're going to make sure they keep their cameras on all the time so they can capture everything that goes on. That way, they don't have any slack from those people. So if you appreciate what they're doing, you can donate to their Cash App, New Era Detroit, or their PayPal at New Era DET 313. So who is ready to start this in every state? I think it is amazing. I remember seeing an article about dads in schools. So it seems like it's kind of something similar to that, but they're just actually walking the streets in bad neighborhoods, just kind of policing their neighborhood, so to speak, and kind of helping out, And I absolutely think that these men should be applauded because it's not often that people, risk their lives for other people. So shout out to them, you guys. Shout out. So a new segment that I want to start is called The Side Chain. And so my husband, Bobby B, and I go out a lot. We review different restaurants. Whenever we eat, we talk about the customer service, the food, the ambiance, the price, and he enjoys the reviews like a little bit, I can't even say a little bit, like he enjoys them way more than I do, especially if the food is bad. So and that's because he cooks, you guys. So he cooks like restaurant worthy. So a lot of his cooking should be in your nearest restaurant. So I figured I'd give him his own segment and let him tell you where to eat, where not to eat, and he may even throw in a recipe or two. So let's go. The Side Chain coming up next.
It's me, Bobby B. You know that. This is a food review. My damn way. We went to a place last year? Sometime maybe like right around the middle of the pandemic, and had a meal. It was terrible. I think we had chicken fajitas. It was something bad. It was a horrible meal, and I believe I pulled a little something out of my mouth. I'm gonna do the first thing that I know they didn't do before I prepare my version of whatever that was. Wash my damn hands. Keep your hands clean. In a clean sink, I'm gonna wash my hands, and then after I do this, I'm gonna wash this chicken, which I'm sure they didn't do as well. You got a clean bird here. But I'm gonna wash the bird. That's double wash bird, which I'm sure they just got their stuff from like La Bonita or whatever, dirty, and just prepared the fajitas with it. No. I'm about to cut this up. I'm gonna holler at y'all after that. And voila, we're back like magic. All right, so I got that bird chopped up. It's pretty, and de-skinned and deboned and all of that. Now what I'm gonna make right now is a little something I call wild sauce. And it's gonna be a marinade for this bird. After I do this, I'm gonna marinate that, let that sit covered about an hour, pull it out, let it rest for about 30. Chop up all this good stuff, my cilantro, my onion, my carrot. This avocado ain't ready. I got a real one that's ready in the refrigerator, but I put this here for this video because it's pretty. All right, y'all. That's good marinated. That's ready to go into the refrigerator order. Oh, gotta wrap it first. Hey, chop yourself. The lid, please. Thanks. So, I'm pretty much gonna use packaged beans and like instant rice, but it's still gonna taste better than Fernando's or whatever dude's name up the street, man. Dude's food was basura. So it's gonna taste better than that. I'm gonna see y'all in a minute with the rice hooked up and the beans hooked up and all of that. And you know, the plate, it's gonna be beautiful. So, hey, we out. Boss, mira. That's how the bird come out, you know, deboned chicken thighs. You know, they cook down looking like some chicken legs. I mean, that's how I want them. I don't want them looking like big pterodactyl thighs and whatever else. Why is that so big, you know? But this is normal size. So I'm gonna chop that all up and get these fajitas looking good. The marinade really is good, Jack. And there you have it. That's better than old Tony's, man. This right here is a good plate. It's gonna serve real well, believe.
Thank you so much, baby. That plate was absolutely amazing too. It was really, really good. So Bobby knows what he's doing. So for our next segment, we are going to talk about our news flip of the week. Okay. So this is a little bit of reading. Bear with me. Pay attention. Those who know me know that I'm totally a solutions driven person. Like I don't really even want to discuss a problem unless we're also talking about a resolve or a solution. So I want to give you some news and see how we can flip it or what kind of positive spin we can put on it. Did you know that a fight over food stamps is brewing in Iowa, where Republican lawmakers have proposed a bill that would bar people who receive government nutrition benefits from using them to buy a wide variety of foods, including fresh meat, butter, and flour? The bill, called House File 3, was introduced earlier this month by State House Speaker Pat Grassley. The lawmaker, whose grandfather is Senator Chuck Grassley, told Iowa that the bill is needed to trim spending the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, or SNAP, as we call it, to free up funding for other priorities. What? We don't know. SNAP is fully funded by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, a federal agency, although states bear some administrative costs for running the program for qualifying residents. And so they're saying that during the pandemic, over 42 million people were receiving food stamps. It increased by about 14% prior to the health crisis, according to the most recent data available. So the Congress, the Republicans have often targeted SNAP for cost cutting, including a push during the Trump administration to add work requirements for food stamp recipients. So if they get this bill passed, they are saying that they are going to kind of run it similar to the WIC program, which a lot of the people who get WIC are also eligible for food stamps. But because they're buying such an array of foods, they want to stop, or they want to propose that they can no longer purchase meat, and only certain meats like tuna, salmon, stuff like that. And then they want them to not be able to purchase butter, flour, white rice, white bread, sliced cheese, cooking oil, herbs, spices, coffee, and tea. And so that's a lot. That's a lot. So they just want us to eat all these canned foods. I'm not sure what that's going to look like. But if the bill passes, they're saying that the food stamps are only going to be about $27.50 for some of the people, or 20, or I'm sorry, if you make $27.50 or less, you'll be eligible for the food stamps, but you won't be able to buy the meat. So you're just feeding your kids tuna or something. Like, I'm not sure what that's looking like. Also, a lot of our states are now going back to the pre-pandemic amounts of SNAP. So they have already stopped the extra money that you were getting in Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Iowa, Kentucky, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, North Dakota, South Dakota, Tennessee, and Wyoming. And then the other 32 states, they said, are going to be coming about in March, where they're going to stop the food stamp, the extra food stamps for some of the families who were using that to get by, during the crisis. So what I want to know is, what do you guys think? Like, how can we flip this? Is there anything positive we can pull from this story? So you guys leave some comments for me in the chat room, or leave them on our FB page. But I'm thinking maybe this is a time for us to really get serious about farming and gardening and growing our own food before they take that away from us too. Also, maybe some food banks and church organizations can really help the communities now by providing food options, because we are really going to need them if they, once they start, once they cut all of these extra benefits that we had. So if you attend any church, or I believe if you attend any church and you're a consistent, active member, like, there's no way that you should be foodless or homeless. I really feel like churches should step up their game when it comes to those type of things. So maybe we'll see some churches step up and help. Maybe we can start eating healthier food options, maybe something like that or whatever. And then I was talking about, I thought about the Trump, when he was proposing that people work to be able to get food stamps. I didn't really see anything wrong with that, you guys. Coming from a middle class family, we out here struggling. We out here like straight starving almost, because it's hard for us to be able to pay all the bills that we're paying and then, have food as well. So maybe that's an option. I don't know. I'm just saying. So anyway, so our next segment, you guys, we are switching to movies. We're going to be discussing movies that you may need to see or you may not want to see. Because I'm a writer director, I got a lot of friends who do independent films, different things like that. And so we wanted to bring our movie review back. But we're choosing like Tubi movies, stuff like that, other independents like Freebie, stuff like that. And then we'll do some Netflix stuff too. But first up, we got You People. The one positive thing about going to the movies, I guess, is that I just got a free upsize popcorn because of reward points. So if you do go to the movies, remember, get your reward points. We are back with our movie review. I know you guys missed us. I wanted to add this segment to the I Am Talitha Cumi show, so we had to bring it back. I had to make sure that Bobby was able to get his comical reviews in on food and these movies. You guys, we have date nights that we do every Tuesday, and typically we try and either do a date night at home, or we try and go out to dinner, or we pick a movie we want to go to, different things like that. But if you guys have noticed, like, I love movies, don't get me wrong, and I was so upset when the pandemic shut all the movie theaters down, but I've kind of gotten used to being at home watching like the streaming movies and stuff like that. And then when we did try and go to the movies, or when we do try and go to the movies, sometimes it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people that are bringing their kids.
It's really just a lot of kids. It's like the same high school kids.
Yeah, and then they come in packs and they're noisy and loud. And
not
one time,
racist. We're not.
And
it's just that it's been that's how our theater experience has been.
And one time we had to actually leave and get a refund because we couldn't deal with the noise and everything, you guys. So
throwing popcorn at us.
Yes.
From the top.
So we have decided that we are going to just do movies that are either on streaming apps like Tubi, Netflix, Freevee, different things like that. And today, our first movie up, we're actually going to be talking about You People. The reason why I want to talk about You People is because I felt like it had like a deeper meaning than what the writer and directors kind of showed us in just a typical love story. And of course, I wanted to talk about love and do a movie about love because it is the month of love, February. So, You People, I give it a 4, you guys. I give it a 4. I thought that it was well written. We were trying to figure out who wrote it because of the cinematography and stuff like that. And then they showed that they showed Kenya Barris. I think he was like an extra or something on the plane or something like that or whatever. And so we should have known that it was him because he does a whole lot of interracial stuff. But movie, I give it a 4, you guys. I think that it's a really, really well-written movie. I think you should take the time out if you have Netflix or if you have somebody's password or if you have somebody who has Netflix. I think you should take the time to go check it out. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't like the cinematography at all. I didn't like the little breaks in between the It was weird. It felt like the movie was starting over every time they showed that one little. But outside of that, yeah, I give it about a 4.
You give it a... So you didn't like the cinematography, but you give it a 4?
Yeah.
What about the acting?
The acting's great. Eddie Murphy's always excellent.
Eddie Murphy, Nia Long was in this. Eddie Murphy was good. Nia Long was in this. We saw Mike Epps. Deion Cole was in it. Dreyfus.
Everybody was great.
What's her name? Dreyfus. I can't think of her name. It's slipping my mind. Julia Dreyfus. Is it Julia?
I think so.
I'm not sure, but
she was annoying.
Dreyfus, she was on there. David Duchovny, I don't know how to pronounce his name. David was on there, starring Jonah Hill and my girl Lauren London, who we have not seen a lot since the passing of her boo. But you guys, it's a really the movie to me had it dealt with a lot of racial tension that we deal with, other than just them being an interracial couple that happened to fall in love. It dealt with a whole lot of other things that I think that they're real pertinent now in 2023. They're things that we need to learn, things that we need to talk about, and this movie brings all of that up about how we can have healthy exchanges when it comes to race relations and communication and how to deal with other races. So we all need some diversity, inclusion, equity, inclusion training, and this movie will show you how much we need, whether you're Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, it doesn't matter. So I feel like they did a really good job. So this is one to go see. We give it a thumbs up. We're replacing Cisco and Ebert, you guys, now. So we're going to give it a thumbs up, you guys. Stay tuned in, and we'll be back next week. You guys, that movie was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. So I say check it out. Go see it. And then talk to some of your friends, especially if you have friends from a different race, and talk to them and have some healthy communication, because it's gonna bring up that. It's gonna bring up that need to talk to each other, you guys. So when we come back, our special guest, Miss Georgene Gina Glass, owner of Dreamsickles, is in the building, and we are talking about For the Health of It after this short break.
Said that to me, my first thought was, well, I don't want to lose my wife, so maybe I need to quit. Are you with me? What I'm doing. I didn't know at that point how to strike the balance between making my home a priority and also the ministry. But here's what I've learned, and listen to me very, very carefully. The young people, never sell your family on the altar of ministry.
What needed to be done, and her and I got into plenty of arguments. Like, I never argued with my mom so much about, just little things and how we should handle it. And which was a learning experience for me. It's like, let me step back, let me sit back. And, because everybody deals with things differently. So it was a growth process, but mom's strong.
And we are back. If you just joined us, you're tuned in to the I Am Talitha Cumi show by Food for the Soul Media Group with me, Talitha Cumi, live on FB and YouTube on Food for the Soul Media Group and Vegas Hype Media. So we are talking about stuff, and if you want to talk about it with us, leave us a comment in the comment section about your thoughts. So I need to introduce my guest. She's been sitting over there patiently waiting for me to read all these articles. Georgene Gina Glass is the founder and executive director of Dreamsicklekids Foundation, Inc., the first sickle cell disease organization in the state of Nevada, founded in 2018. Georgene facilitates workshops and talks on SCD for universities like UNLV, School of Public Health and Medicine, and for healthcare providers and community members. Georgene's advocacy, that's a hard word for me to pronounce every time I try and do it, led to the passing of a SCD bill in Nevada in 2019. She is also a consultant to new and existing nonprofits and a community health worker directly supporting patients and families impacted by SCD, providing health education, connecting them to community resources to better manage their health in efforts to address health disparities experienced by this patient group and improve health equity for people with SCD, sickle cell disease. So is there anything that I left out?
No, other than my name is pronounced Georgene.
Georgia, I was pronouncing that all wrong. Georgene. My bad. I hate when people pronounce my name wrong too. Georgene. So I'm gonna be calling her Gina. So yes, that's cool.
That's
You
fine,
okay?
yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna call her Gina so I don't just jack up her name. But so why was it important for you to start the organization? So go from there.
I have two children, two daughters.
Okay.
My youngest daughter was born in 2015, and at birth she was diagnosed with sickle cell disease. So that's how I came to start learning more about it. I also actually have a niece who has sickle cell disease as well. We lived in Southern California, so of course California is really expensive. So I decided to pack up my family and we moved to Nevada. Coming here, we found that there was not a lot of knowledge or information or support for people with sickle cell disease, the patients or the caregivers. And I had a couple of health scares with the healthcare system here and my daughter. And so I decided that I wanted to establish an organization to support the patients and the families and advocate for better resources for patients with sickle cell to have more quality access to healthcare. And that's how Dreamsicklekids Foundation came to be.
Okay. That's a lot. That is a lot. You did that. Okay. So you just packed up your girls and like, I'm
Yeah.
out. I'm out. I'm coming out here. Nevada, we found too that Nevada is just a little bit cheaper than rent wise. It's way cheaper than Los Angeles right now. But it's a little bit under Dallas where we came from. So yeah, that's why we decided here instead of LA. So good move. Good move. So tell us how serious the disease is, especially among African Americans, and like, is there a difference between men and women?
Sickle cell disease is one of the most common genetic blood disorders that exists, and primarily African Americans are most affected by sickle cell disease. 100,000 Americans have sickle cell disease here. And actually, women are disproportionately affected by sickle cell disease, but also women are more likely to have various forms of anemia, and women in general are affected worse when it comes to ancestral genetic disorders.
Man.
Yeah.
And so I was going to ask that. That was my second question. Is it avoidable, like, or is it like hereditary?
It's hereditary.
It's
So
hereditary,
it's passed
okay.
down from your parents.
Okay.
So if one of your parents is a carrier of sickle cell trait, then it's possible that the child will also be a carrier of sickle cell trait. But if both parents are carriers of sickle cell trait, then it's a 1 in 4 chance that the child will have sickle cell disease. And that's every time that mom gets pregnant. If it's with the same father and they both are carriers, then it's a 1 in 4 chance that the
That one of
child
the
will
kids.
have sickle cell disease or sickle cell trait.
So how do people know that they have sickle cell disease? Like, what are the signs or the trait? What happens to them
So
to make you even check it and say, oh, I think that there might be something going on?
So before newborn screening, which is something that occurs now when
Okay.
every baby is born in the hospital, they're screened for over 35 different genetic disorders. So so that allows early detection, so they can start with any preventative care if they actually have the disease, or just so they have the knowledge if they're the carrier of something like sickle cell trait. So in about the 90s, it was mandated that every baby born here in the U.S. is tested for sickle cell disease and sickle cell traits. So everyone finds out pretty
on.
much before
Yeah.
they take their baby home. But prior to that, people would be, years old before
Yeah.
they would find out whether or not they had sickle cell disease. And they would only find out because they kept having complications, or, sometimes kids, or they would even get into like their adulthood and they would pass away because they have sickle cell and nobody ever knew.
So I have a question, because I have a family member right now who has sickle cell, I believe, and she is struggling with heart complications now. Is there a tie-in with that at all, or no?
Yes, so sickle cell, it affects pretty much your entire body, because your normal blood cell shape is round and flexible, and it passes through your vessels and carries the oxygen to your organs. But when you have sickle cell, your blood cell mutates, and it's misshapen like a sickle or crescent moon or banana, or whatever you want to call it. So it makes it hard to pass through the blood vessels because it's not as flexible.
Okay.
So then it's not carrying that oxygen to all of your other extremities, pretty much every organ in your body.
Shoot.
Yeah.
So it is quite possible then that her heart
Yeah, so
condition might have
complications,
something to do with her sickle cell then.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I didn't know that, and I was gonna ask that. I was gonna ask her that, and I don't know if she knows
Right,
either. But
yeah.
I'm assuming that the
Yeah,
doctors,
there's many.
kinda
Yeah,
know that.
there's
Yeah.
cardiac, complications with
Okay.
sickle cell, because the oxygen it doesn't reach your brain if it's
Oh,
not
no.
properly through there. So they're more susceptible to strokes. A lot of children by the age of 5 have had strokes. Children with sickle
Goodness.
cell.
Are
Yeah.
you serious? So it is that serious. Wow, I didn't know any of that. I didn't know any of that. I just know that in talking to her, she was saying that she had it, and then her brother just passed away. He had heart complications. I'm not sure if he had sickle cell or not, though. So that's something to note, I guess, for people with sickle cell, to know that they have to really be careful.
Yeah, they have to
and watch.
make sure they manage their health on all levels, because sickle cell pretty much affects your entire body.
Is there medication for it or no?
So there is. At one time there wasn't medication, but early on they found, because people with sickle cell disease are also very susceptible to infections like sepsis, pneumonia. So it was found that penicillin was a good prophylactic to reduce the complications from having infections, because infections can be fatal for patients with sickle cell, as they have a weaker immune system. And then there is a medication that kind of helps to prevent crises and things like that. So that had been around for about 30 years, and it was the only medication that was available for people with sickle cell, but it was a repurposed chemotherapy drug. So it wasn't a drug that was made specifically for people with sickle cell. So it wasn't until 2017 that a medication came out. It was a supplement, a L-glutamine supplement that was made specifically for people with sickle cell. And then in 2019, 2 additional medications came out that were specifically for people with sickle cell.
Good. That's good. Well, that's a lot, man. That is a lot. Can you talk about and we're going to switch just a little bit. Can you talk about some health do's and don'ts for the culture? Like, can you give us a couple of do's and don'ts? And then can you give us like myths that we tend to do that might not be right? Like, we really think we're doing it, and they're like, no, you shouldn't be doing it at all.
So I would say do's. I would say get your checkups, go to the doctor. I would say get genetic screening. There's other, genetic disorders aside from sickle cell, but for African Americans, it's important to get your genetic screening so you at least know your status if you are a carrier of the sickle cell trait, because not only could you pass that to your child, there are, complications for your own health that could occur just by being a carrier, even though that's considered a benign trait. There's people who have been known to have complications similar to someone who has sickle cell disease, including death. There's an aggressive kidney cancer that's been found to be more common in people that carry the sickle cell trait. So it's important just to know your genetic makeup and get a full workup so you know what's going on. Also, February 7th is National Black HIV Awareness Day. So African Americans, of course, are disproportionately affected by HIV. And we also have higher rates of STDs and STIs. So it's important to get, tested for HIV and STDs and STIs as well.
Are there any practices, something that we're doing that maybe is a myth that somebody told us to do and it's not correct? Do you know of anything?
I don't know. Well, drinking ginger ale for everything.
Really? That's a no. We can't drink no ginger ale.
No,
It has
ginger ale is
ginger in
fine,
it.
but it's not. Okay. It's not gonna, cure everything.
It's not. So we can't just
you
turn up the ginger ale
and your stomach ache, your headache, and everything is gone. No.
So that doesn't work anymore.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right.
No.
Well, let's talk about women's health. Are there natural healing products, yay or nay? Like cannabis, CBD, natural vitamins. Are they better than all of these medications in these streets, please, ma'am?
I'm kind of personally on the fence. Personally, I really don't like taking medication. I never have ever since I was little. So unless I'm like deathly ill, I'm not going to take any, prescription medication. But since having my daughter, even though I kind of had that same outlook, like I don't want to give her, all these medications. But when you see your baby like in pain and there's nothing you can do, a hot towel or something like that is not going to work. Some ginger ale is not going to work. Some hot tea is not going to fix it. Then you start to be more open to some of the more Western medicine, pain medication, and things like that. So I think it's a mix. Like my daughter, it's important for her to take, vitamins and supplements too. So we take vitamin D. Black people naturally mostly have a vitamin D deficiency, so it's important to have that. She takes vitamin B, vitamin C, like for your immune system, chlorophyll to help oxygenate the blood. And I'm anemic, so I'm supposed to take iron pills, but I don't like iron pills. So I make a lot of fresh juices, green juices to help me with, my blood and things.
So CBD is not working for the people? CBD and cannabis, or, some people who use it for medicinal purposes, especially those who have sickle cell. Does that
There's
Have
a
you found
lot
that that's
of,
worked?
I know a lot of, sickle cell patients that use CBD and they find, some reprieve and help with their pain and things, help them relax. So it just depends. I remember a couple of years ago, somebody gave me a hemp stick before my daughter really had a lot of complications and I wasn't really giving her like pain medications. So we would do the hemp stick and she said that it did make her feel better. So, I'm guessing like it works for some people, but I just stay still. If you're, taking medication that was prescribed by your doctor and you're deciding you want to go more natural, just consult with your physician to
first.
see what might be the best route.
Okay, so don't be going straight to the dispensary and getting you some stuff or drinking you some ginger ale, thinking that's going to heal every doggone thing, because
No,
it might not be the case. So I want to thank you so much for coming out and being my first guest.
Thank you for having me
on my newly revived talk show. So do you have anything coming up? Does your organization have anything coming up? And let the listeners know where we can follow you, where we can find you.
So we don't have anything coming up in the coming months. February is actually also Rare Disease Month.
Okay.
So sickle cell disease is one of 10,000 rare diseases. And they're like the mascot for rare disease is zebra, because zebras are rare. So the month of February is Rare Disease, and then the 28th of February is Rare Disease Day. Let's see. So I actually am working with another organization here in Nevada, the Black Community Health and Wellness Association, and we're going to be having CPR training because there's a lot of people within the community who are not trained in CPR, and there's a lot of people who, have suffered from issues that may have been saved if that person knew CPR.
Goodness.
So we're gonna have a training on that, and then on the 11th we're gonna do like a Galentine's event just to talk about heart health.
Okay.
So those are the things we have coming up, and you can follow us at Dreamsicklekids on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Okay, and I want you to send that to me too, so I'm going to post it when we do our re-air. So my last question to you, what the world needs now is what? What the world needs now is what?
I think the world needs more compassion.
Okay.
Yeah.
More compassion. We've lost that. Do you think that we ever had it?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now it seems like everybody is kind of cold.
I think so too. I think everybody is kind of out for themselves. But I have the skinny on the fact that the Bible says that would happen. So there we are. So Quan, drop me a little beat so I can do this last segment, the rundown. One sit down at dinner will tell you if someone's grandparents were worth the paper they were printed on. Whether it be the lack of male guidance as he neglects to pull out her chair, or the grandma that told her, "Ooh, girl, get his money, get his ass, get pregnant." The writing is on the skin. Snap out of it. Or can you? The cost of canned foods is going to be next, and we, as the awake, stopped eating that 2 years ago during the Great Healing. If you people don't start looking at life more like you people, then you people are the reason you are you people. Rise up. Stand for a passion true as Georgene, Gina Glass. G's, that's a lot of G's, and G's is just saying G plural. Yikes. Use your Vaseline and keep pushing the dream. Oh, and Detroit, the only way to make that mess safe is to close those liquor stores like how Tim Heddington did in downtown Dallas. Grow your city. Don't throw it. Peace. And this is courtesy of Bobby B. So you guys, please keep in mind that we are looking for positive artists who would like to have a live featured performance to end my show every week. I am a lover of all things music, and I really would love to showcase you and give you a platform to do your thing. You can be a Christian artist, a secular artist, but we just need music with some substance and positivity. So if you're interested, you can go to our website at www.foodforthesoulmediagroup.press and go to our artist spotlight tab and submit your email or email us or submit your music or email us at support@foodforthesoulmediagroup.press for more information. And you guys could possibly be our guests. So because this is my first show, I wanted to highlight a friend of mine, Mrs. Charmaine Baycott of Dallas, Texas, with her rendition of Jill Scott's Is It the Way?
Woke up this morning with a smile on my face. Jumped out of bed, took a shower, cleaned up my place. Made me some breakfast, toast, 2 scrambled eggs. Grab my keys, grab my purse, grab my jacket, off to work, beaming all the way down to earth. Is it the way you love me, baby? Is it the can't wait to get home. Now, girl, I got something else to do. Go ahead, really get your groove on, 'cause tonight my man's coming through. Yeah. We gon' have to connect some other time. As much as I like to shake my thing on the dance floor, okay, big girl. I got another nasty, freaky, just right playing mine. Tonight I'm gonna be the high star. Is it the way you love me, baby?
That ended pretty abruptly, but sorry about that, you guys. So that is our show. Tune in every Friday to the I Am Talitha Kume show at 7:30 p.m. on our FB page and YouTube station or Vegas Hype Media, and tell your people to tune in. Catch the re-air on Wednesdays on our YouTube, Spotify, and Anchor. Our show tonight has been sponsored in part by Orlay Worldwide, Big Bobby B Beats, and Dreamsickles. And if you want to be a guest or a sponsor, hit us up at support@foodforthesoulmediagroup.press or inbox us for more info. Remember, you're the sky and everything else is the weather. Put your faith and trust in God, and He'll never steer you wrong. See you guys later.